What's going on, everyone? So earlier today, we got some very exciting news. So Marlon Wayans posted, "We're back. After nearly 20 years, the Wayans brothers are finally going to give the fans what they've been asking for. A return to the Scary Movie franchise. We're looking forward to having fun on the big screen again." You have no idea how excited I am for this. I mean, I love the Scary Movie franchise, particularly the first two. Um, Mainly the first. I mean, the first one I think is about as perfect of a movie. It to this day ruins Scream for me. The Scream franchise is my favorite horror movie franchise ever. What I've built this channel on. I love Scream because I love the realism in Scream. I love, I enjoy horror movies, period, right? In the paranormal, supernatural style horror, Conjuring style films, stuff like that. I love those films. And I know a lot of people believe in those things. A lot of people have had experiences in those things. But personally, I never have. So I can't ever put myself in those situations, right? Where something as simple as a man in a costume or a woman in a costume running around killing their friends. Fortunately, you see that stuff regularly. Usually it's just a gun instead of a knife. So, but I can put myself in those situations. Something like The Strangers, I really enjoy. I really enjoy those films that are more realistic, more everyday than some of the other films. But then we got that spoof era. We got films like, what was it? Shriek If You Know What I Did Last 13th, or I think it was Shriek If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. That one. Yeah, I think I said that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it was. That one, if I'm not mistaken, came out right before Scary Movie or around the same time. Like they were essentially made roughly around the same time. And then you had Scary Movie. And look, that the other one, the Shriek film, that one I really enjoyed, but Scary Movie was like the pinnacle, right? Like that to me was like the greatest of to this day, I think is, has lasted the test of time, is just hilarious. I like part 2, don't get me wrong. Part 3 was pretty good. Like each of the scary movies in the franchise have their own, audience and have their own, like I hear people all the time, they're like, "Oh, I love the 4th one," or whatever, right? Like I thought the first 3 were very enjoyable. The 3rd one had a lot of like great moments. But for me, it was just like the Wayans brothers were such a huge part of that franchise. And the original like I can watch the original Scream literally on repeat. Like if it was like, "Hey, Fate, you have to watch a scary movie on repeat for a year straight," it probably would be Scream. Because I think Scream is about as close to a perfect movie as you can get. And as far as like spoofs, comedies go, Scary Movie is up there for me. Like every time I watch Scream, as much as I love it, there are those scenes that are mirrored in Scary Movie that it completely ruins it for me. In a good way, right? In a good manner. And so you have no idea how stoked I am about this. People that have been, part of the live streams and the Lethal Collective and all that stuff and have been around for a long time, you probably are aware of how excited I am for this because I'm always like referencing or mentioning or talking about Scary Movie and stuff. But to get the Wayans brothers back, I think is huge because this was their franchise. They were the ones that built it. They were the pioneers of this. And they were done dirty, right? I mean, they basically got stripped of it, which I'm curious to see. Is it just money, right? Because it's going to be with Miramax and Paramount. So is it something that like, hey, is it just money? Are they giving them some of the IP? Like, I'm curious to see if it ever even gets released. Like if we find out exactly what was there a backdoor deal? Or is it just a straightforward, like, hey, we'll give you 10 million or something like that to do these films? Curious to see what that is, if we ever find that out, which I'd imagine we probably will at some point. But, the Wayans brothers were really, because the Wayans brothers, they were the ones that were writing all the spoofs and all that stuff, and Keenan Ivory Wayans and stuff, right? Like, he was directing it, and I really want to see. I've always wanted to know, like, what would it look like if the franchise continued with them? And I do think that this is going to light a new spark in that franchise. I'm not big, and I talk about this all the time. I'm not big on remakes and reboots and and things. I don't mind sequels like Scream, right? You're in 5, 6, 7. I don't mind that because it's a franchise that you can keep going, right? It's not a Jason, it's not a Freddy, it's not a Michael to where, as soon as you kill them, that's it. Now you got to come up with some crazy way to bring them back, right? Where with Scream, you can go forever. And I've always said, like, with that franchise, as long as there's good story, good character development, and good execution, keep going, right? Give me Scream 20. I don't care, right? Because it's always going to be somebody different. If you can keep telling convincing stories and give us convincing characters and whatnot, then fine, keep going. It's just when you start getting away and it starts becoming, look, I don't really like, people always talk about, it's a cash grab, it's a cash grab, it's a cash grab. I mean, every movie is a cash grab. No movie has been made without the intentions of making cash, right? But there's clear, like, this is a cash grab. Like, this is clearly, like, they didn't make this for any other reason other than to just make money. Or there's the movies that are like, hey, this movie's really good. They took the time in their cash grab. I don't mind having a 15th film. I want some creativity. I want some originality. I want some, instead of making, these constant remakes of action, like, make a new movie. Why can't we just make a new film in the franchise or make a new franchise? Now, when it comes to these types of spoofs, right? And something like a Scary Movie, to me, these are about the comedy. This is about the jokes. This is about the parallels to those horror films. And because we've gone so long without it, there's all kinds of franchises that they can go into, and like Marlon was doing, a haunted house and stuff. And, I thought the first one, I really liked the first one. Second one, I was kind of like, I enjoy them. I didn't think that they were terrible, but, the first one I really liked. Second one, I thought lacked a little bit, in my opinion. But to me, when you're talking about these things, again, this is another type of franchise that I'm all for. Like, you can go on forever because you're mocking. Like, there are franchises that you look at and you're like, wow, they're making another one of these, right? Like, how many times can you remake Halloween? How many times can you have a new iteration? Like, at what point do you just tell a new story, right? Like, I'm not against you creating a new Halloween movie and having Michael Myers, but can we, like, do an entirely different thing rather than, like, this is a new Laurie Strode, and now we're doing another timeline over here, and it gets so crazy and convoluted that you can't even follow it, right? But something like a Scary Movie, each movie is kind of its own individual thing. It's almost like an anthology series more than it is, direct sequels. And so I am very excited for this and look at it as like, hey, you can do these forever if you do them properly, though, right? I felt the Scary Movie franchise, just like all of them. I mean, there was like, disaster movie and date movie and superhero movie and movie and, like, there's just, it got carried away at a point. Another one that I really like, not another teen movie, great. Love that. Like, another movie I could watch on repeat. That movie is fantastic, right? Scary Movie, like those things. There were the good ones. There were the good gems. And there's a couple of those, like, crazy ones that are actually pretty good and pretty entertaining. They're all, like, if you go in expecting, Oscar-worthy comedy, you're not really going to get that. But if you go in understanding what it is, I think they're all entertaining to an extent, right? But, there's some that are just better than others, right? Like, what was it, Meet the Spartans or whatever? Like, that one I thought was a little ridiculous, little over the top. Meet the Blacks? Is it Meet the Blacks? That one I actually enjoyed. That one was pretty good. But point is, before I get off the rails here, is, you know, I'm all for you continuing to create these films. I am super excited that the Wayans brothers are back for Scary Movie. And I hope that they make several of these, honestly. Right? Kind of make up for the years that we didn't get the Wayans brothers in Scary Movie. I'm all for it. But we need good quality jokes. I felt like the Scary Movie franchise kind of it became a blatant cash grab rather than, you know, like, hey, this is a movie trying to make money, right? I felt like some of it just kind of lost its way in a lot of ways, and they just started pumping them out just to start pumping them out. You know, all of them have kind of, again, they have their own audience, and, you know, I hear people that, oh, I love the fourth one, I love the fifth one, right? Like, and that's great. You know, like, if you loved any of the later ones, beautiful, right? But to me, personally, nothing will ever beat the first one. But I'm excited to see the Wayans brothers kind of get their franchise back in a lot of ways. You know, I grew up on the Wayans Brothers show and all that. Like, I love the Wayans brothers. I love watching them just do their thing, right? They're one of the king families and queens of comedy, right? I really love this, and I'm very excited for this. And I had to do a video talking about it. Sure, this wasn't the most fluid video, but just because I'm genuinely excited. And like I saw that X or tweet or whatever you want to call it. I was like, oh, I'm going to jump on and make a video about this right now. So that's what I did. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Are you as excited as I am? Are you kind of like, we'll see how it plays out. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.